There are 4 signs that you have an avoidant attachment style, even if you believe the opposite. And before we get into them, I want you to understand something important. This is not about labeling yourself. This is not about diagnosing a flaw. This is about awareness, because you cannot change what you cannot see. And the most dangerous patterns in our lives are often the ones that feel the most normal to us. The ones we've lived with so long that we no longer recognize them as patterns at all. We just call them personality. We call them preferences. We call them who we are. But sometimes, what we call independence is actually distance, and what we call self-sufficiency is actually protection. So let's look at the 4 signs. Sign number 1. You pull away when someone gets too close. At the beginning of any connection, everything feels easy, light, comfortable. You enjoy the company. You enjoy the exchange. You feel present. But then something shifts. As the bond deepens, as the other person begins to rely on you, to expect more from you, to show that they genuinely care, something inside you tightens, a subtle discomfort appears, an urge to create distance, to become a little less available, to respond a little slower, to need a little more space. And you tell yourself it's normal, that everyone needs space, that you're just an independent person. But the truth is, it's not space you're looking for, it's distance. Because closeness has started to feel like a threat, not consciously, not deliberately, but somewhere deep inside, your nervous system learned that getting too close means getting hurt, so it protects you before the hurt even arrives. Not because closeness is actually dangerous, but because at some point in your life it was, and your system never forgot that. So now it activates the same protection in situations that may no longer require it, pulling you back from exactly the things you quietly want most. Sign number 2. You struggle to talk about your emotions, not because you don't feel anything. You feel deeply, perhaps more than most. But putting words to what you feel makes you uncomfortable, almost physically uncomfortable. Because expressing emotion requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires trust. And trust is something your system has learned to be very careful with. So instead of saying, "I'm hurt, I feel disconnected, I need something from you," you go quiet. You manage it alone. You convince yourself that handling things internally is a sign of strength. And maybe sometimes it is. But when it becomes your only mode, when you never let anyone into what is actually happening inside you, it creates a wall, not immediately visible, but real. And the people who care about you begin to feel it. They feel the distance. They sense they cannot reach you. And over time, even the most patient people stop trying to get through a wall that never opens. Not because they stopped caring, but because every attempt to get closer was met with the same invisible resistance. And eventually, people stop reaching for something that never reaches back. Sign number 3. You place an enormous value on your independence. Being alone feels safe, predictable, under control. Depending on someone else feels like a risk you're not sure you're willing to take. Because dependence means exposure, and exposure means the possibility of being let down, of being abandoned, of needing someone who isn't there. So you build a life where you need as little as possible from others, where you are capable of everything alone, where asking for help feels almost like weakness. And again, on the surface, this looks like strength. People admire your self-sufficiency, your ability to handle things, your calm in difficult moments. But underneath, there is a person who learned very early that relying on others was not always safe, that people leave, that needs go unmet, that it was simply easier and safer to need no one at all. And so independence became armor, not a choice, but a defense, built carefully over years, until the armor became so familiar that it started to feel like identity, until needing no one felt like freedom, when in reality, it was the oldest form of self-protection, still running in the background of everything you do. Sign number 4. You disconnect easily when things become too intense. A relationship that was going well suddenly feels like too much. A conversation that gets too emotional makes you want to exit. A connection that starts to deepen triggers the urge to disappear. Not because you don't care, but because intensity activates something in you that your system doesn't know how to process comfortably. So you leave. Not always physically, sometimes emotionally. You become distant, unavailable, difficult to reach, because leaving in whatever form it takes feels safer than staying in something that has become unpredictable. And unpredictability, for someone with avoidant attachment, is one of the most uncomfortable feelings that exists. None of this means something is fundamentally wrong with you. It means your nervous system learned to protect you in the best way it knew how based on what it experienced. It means that at some point, maybe in childhood, maybe in a relationship that broke you, maybe in a moment where you needed someone and they simply weren't there, your mind made a decision. Closeness is risk, independence is safety, distance is control. And that decision made sense then. It protected you. It kept you stable. It helped you survive something that was genuinely difficult. But the problem is that same protection is now keeping out the very things you need. Real connection, real intimacy, real love, because you cannot selectively numb. When you close the door to pain, you close the same door to everything else. The warmth, the belonging, the feeling of being truly known by someone, all of it blocked by the same wall that was built to keep the hurt out. And that is the quiet tragedy of avoidant attachment. So the real question is not whether you have an avoidant attachment style. The real question is, are you protecting your independence or are you avoiding closeness? Because somewhere inside you still believe that getting too close will cost you something you are not prepared to lose.